There's one person in the city of Gainesville, at least one person, who knows everything there is to know about this corridor and everything that went into making it a reality, if you will. And that's Michael Graham, who is the Deputy Director of Gainesville Parks and Recreation. We sat down earlier to talk about the construction project and what comes next. Welcome to the show today, Michael.
Oh, thank you for having me, Cantil, and that's correct. I did hold a different title back when we first started this project. At that time, I was the Executive Director of Friends of the Parks.
So you've been on both sides of the fence, so to speak.
I have, that's correct, and I'm excited that we're able to meet here today to talk about the extension of Rock Creek Park and the amphitheater that is really the final link in making that direct connection between downtown Gainesville and Lake Lanier.
We are sitting right in the middle of the amphitheater, just down below from Rock Creek Park. So you have to, you might not be able to see this from the street. You have to come down here. We are sitting on brand new sod, kind of sinking in a little bit, but it sure does look pretty out here.
It has literally just been completed. We're excited about it, but we already have many people that are walking through the trails and getting positive responses from everybody talking about how beautiful it is.
And the landscaping just all around. It's just really, there's nothing like having a park in the middle of your downtown, is there?
Yes, ma'am, that's correct. And the fact you mentioned this is a 14-year project, I mean, we have been looking at trying to make this link. Actually, it goes beyond 14 years. This project was actually a vision back in the 1970s. And at the Gainesville Civic Center right now, you can ask to see there is a model showing this greenway from downtown Gainesville all the way down to Lake Lanier. Literally just after Lake Lanier had started becoming a most popular lake. And so it's amazing now that we're sitting here today and that you can get out of your car at the downtown area of Gainesville and walk almost 2 miles all the way down to the shores of Lake Lanier.
This is a project that you mentioned you were with Friends of the Parks at the time. Certainly the relationship between the city and Friends of the Parks and Gainesville Parks and Recreation has been one from the beginning. It's been a great relationship from the beginning. You must feel very proud to sit here and see the completion of such a dream of so many people.
Yes, most definitely. And in fact, Friends of the Parks began by concerned citizens who really wanted to see this dream become reality. They saw that there was also some concerns with these linear parks. And we're really, we talk about this as Rock Creek Park. Well, it's kind of the, if you will, the gateway into the existing parks that have been here for some time. Ivy Terrace Park, one of the oldest parks in the city, which leads into Wilshire Trails Park, which was dedicated in 1982, all the way down to Longwood Park, which, as I said, sits on the shores of Lake Lanier. And so you really have this unbelievable link that goes all the way down, and the fact that the concerned citizens of Gainesville got together and said, let's see this link come to reality and let's make sure that it is here for our children in the future was amazing. And I was able to come in on the front end of that, as I said, the first Executive Director of Friends of the Parks, which is at this point in time 1,100 members strong of people that really want to come in and see this as it is today. And there's still some work to do, but we've gone from the point of not having the Gateway Park or Rock Creek Park to putting in a detention area that helps hold back some of the storm water that was actually eroding away the parks, to seeing Ivy Terrace go from, this oldest park in the city that didn't really have any trails other than a dirt path, to this beautiful 8 to 10 foot wide paths and a gazebo and a new pavilion, while still maintaining the CCC rock work that was there since the 1930s.
And probably is now the nicest park in the city.
I like to think so.
No doubt about it. I truly think that it is. And I feel like I've been with you on this whole project because we've been together, and I have, looking back at previous interviews, going way back to the mid-90s. So we really have followed this project with you. Explain to us, if you would, why a project like this takes 14 years, so the community can truly understand all that has to be done, and then about the actual connection from the downtown square all the way to Lake Lanier.
Okay. Well, making sure that you have the proper design to start off with. You talk about why it takes so long. We really went through, we had this advisory group, if you will, Friends of the Parks, who reached out to the citizens out here and said, hey, here's our ideas. Is this what you want as well? And so with those public meetings and over the years, there formed a concept plan that says, yes, this is the way we want this link to look at throughout. Then it comes down to money, let's be honest about it. And there is a lot involved in trying to raise the funds, and a lot of people think that, hey, just building the trail isn't that expensive. The rule of thumb is it's $1 million a mile All right, and so this is a 2-mile trail, if you will, and it has a lot of extras in terms of what you're looking at here as well, just like the amphitheater, or the fact that there had to be stream bank restoration take place, which is extremely expensive as well. So all in all, in this past 14 years, and it's not 100% complete, but believe it or not, we've almost spent $6 million. Most of that in grants, which we've been thankful for, whether it be the Transportation Enhancement Grants from Federal Department of Transportation or Georgia Forestry Commission grants. There has been EPA 319 grants in working with partners such as the Upper Chattahoochee Basin Group. There's been lots of people out there that's been willing to come in and play a part of making this happen. Green Space Funds purchased this piece of property that we're sitting in right now that was that last connection. There for a long time, Rock Creek Park was separated from Ivy Terrace Park, and we didn't have that complete link. But when the Georgia Green Space Funds were available, we were able to come in and use some of those funds to buy this small piece of property to make that direct connection.
Well, and I think that all that is almost worth saying again, that the city actually put in very little money to make this happen. So we're thankful to all the other partners we've had on this.
That's true, but and when you get down to the public-private partnership, when you have the citizens come together with the local governments to try to make sure that everybody is in the win-win situation to get what they want, it works beautifully. And this is one of those cases where it has been the perfect match between the city, the Parks and Recreation, and Friends of the Parks.
What does the completion of this project mean for all the organizations you just mentioned?
Well, I think it means that we have this new, healthy lifestyle. You know, it leads to the future of what everybody's always envisioned. Everybody these days wants to see more walking paths. They want more biking paths. They want more connection to the community so that you feel connected with everybody around you. Life is so busy where people driving cars left and right. When we can make a connection like we have here, you've got to understand, linked here to Rock Creek Greenway between all of these parks, we've got Centennial Elementary School, we've got the Gainesville High School, what was the middle school, it's no longer the middle school with the new one built, but then you've got the downtown merchants, you've got all of these different, and then you've got the neighborhoods that surround this. You can drive down any of the roads along this corridor of parks here and see people walking from their houses down to the parks so that they can walk through. Or these days you can actually, even if you're out on the lake, you can drive your boat up to Longwood Park, park at the Courtesy Dock, and walk all the way downtown Gainesville, have dinner, head back down to your boat and go back home.
I think you need a scooter lane out here too, because I've seen some scooters. Or scooters, what are the rules of the scooter? Do you I don't even know what those are. Just be careful, I guess.
And that is, and you have to be careful with everybody. But what we have done is that we've gone in and created multi-purpose trails. These trails are anywhere from 8 to 10 feet wide, and normally when you're that wide, there's enough room for that person that's riding the scooter to move over so the walkers can get by, but there's also some bypasses. If you go down into the Ivy Terrace section, there's some smaller trails that go off, and it's actually signed there that says no scooter or bikes in this area. So if you wanted to skirt around that section, you can. But yeah, we wanted to make it multi-purpose because remember, this is a family environment. We want the families to come here and enjoy what they have.
There has been so much rain recently. Our lake is full. Who would have thought 2 years ago we'd be in the situation we're in now? So great, our lake is full, but certainly rainwater can cause a lot of damage, and especially to a project that you've worked so hard to finish on time. What about all the rain that we've had? Has it affected this park area, or is the restoration as such that we're okay?
Well, it's interesting you bring that up, Katil, because the way this all originally started was the fact that these corridor of parks were being inundated by water. The fact that they are in downtown area, what happened was that there was a lot of impervious surfaces around the parks, and so every time you had even a small rain event, it would inundate the parks, and what that means is it would erode the parks away. And because they're a narrow corridor of parks, they're linear in form.
We are sitting down in here, and I feel like I'm in a valley. This should be the Rock Creek Valley Greenway.
Well, this actually leads down into, there's two tributaries that kind of lead into Rock Creek, one from the downtown area and then one from Green Street area. And we're actually in the area that leads down from the downtown area into that.